All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone, and peace, love, and salutation to you, Akim, that's pushing this truth and true sincerity. And speaking of double honors, let me read this 1 Timothy 5 and 17. Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. And that's none other than the apostles and elders, great millstone, and the elder bishops of Connecticut. All right. And they've been giving us so much advice. They are our spiritual fathers, man. You know, you had that sister that had that beautiful dream, and she called Apostle her pops. And the apostles and elders are our spiritual fathers, man. All right. They've been giving us guidance about dealing with certain women, about how to conduct ourselves in public, and even with our diet. And this is going to be on the diet, man. All right. And let this guy be an example. You know, I'm not going to say too much about this cat, Mr. New Testament. You know, if you were in the New Testament, you would not be sitting in the hospital. But I'm going to let this guy say what he got to say. But let this guy be a reminder of take care of your health. And I'm no health guru, but, you know, as of late, you know, I've been getting back into the rhythm of getting to the gym. I really don't mess with, you know, the bread like that. You know, Jake Jake might get a little bread, a little, you know, sandwich every 2-3 weeks. Been cutting down certain foods. You know, I'm not a sweet tooth brother. I don't really deal with cakes and cookies and, you know, the other madness, man. But, you know, we all have stuff that we all need to work on nonetheless. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. So let this guy be an example of take better care of your health. And this guy inspired, you know, this guy inspired me to get into the gym today. All right. Just like any other day. When I see people that's in the hospital or morbidly obese, I'll be like, I need to get to the gym. I think I might, after this lesson and I get a couple of affairs in order, it's a nice 70-degree day out here in Metro Atlanta. I might take me a walk then. You know, Apostle Tahar did a lesson on lunges. Lord willing, this is leg day and I do a few squats, man, you know, with some weights. But hey, let this guy be an example of, you know, to get your health in order, man. You know, you got to do what you got to do. I can't speak on every brother. Like I said, I cut back from, I'm not trying to be long with it. I cut back from heavy breads. You know, I cut back from the hamburgers, the hot dogs. If I do eat a burger, I will eat it on a corn tortilla, you know, just to get rid of that burger urge. And I make it at home. And I've been working on my gut health. I've been taking stuff like kefir, kombucha, you know, things of that nature. Just, you know, you got to do what you got to do. You got to research stuff for yourself. I can't speak on every brother. I can only speak on my experience. And I weighed myself today. I wasn't really happy with my weight, but hey, I've lost some pounds. Okay, you know. But let me play this guy right quick, man.
Shalom, your boy Maccabees in Shalom, Bishop Melchizedek, Shalom, Aki. Thank the Lord I got to the hospital today, man. My blood pressure is 200/120.
And his blood pressure is 200/120. Now he's up here scoffing the apostles and elders and trying to get on Great Millstone. Okay, and if he was a right mind, it would have been a brother telling him, like, look, man, take that hawthorn tincture. Okay? And shalom to the physician, you know, Yaikwab, the brother in our camp, GMS Atlanta. I got it in my bathroom right now. I got a hawthorn tincture, man, and it reduces your blood pressure. But you know, Jake, they don't want to take heed to counsel. They always trying to slander the apostle and elders' name, and this man is in the hospital, man. All right, now you can make your little response videos about me if you want, but let's keep it real, homeboy. You don't know too much about the scriptures. All right, you just want to slander people. This is Ecclesiastes. Man, where was that? And I'm still learning myself, man. Like I said, shalom to that brother Yaikwab. That brother, man, I be hitting him up. I have little situations. Hey, what do I do? You know, asking for guidance, ask for counsel, man. You know, but Jake too proud, and it goes into the foods you eat, man. This guy was known on camera drinking a Coca-Cola, man. That's a hell no. I don't personally, bro. I don't drink Coca-Cola, Sprite, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper. You know, there's other alternatives. There's other alternatives to soda. Elder Yashawama had a concoction for a drink that somewhat resembles a Sprite. You know, if we're in this truth, man, you got to be on a higher level than this guy, man. All right, I want to say that. Sirach 38:1. Honor a physician with the honor due unto him for the uses which you may have of him, for the Lord hath created him. Yeah, the Lord has created certain brothers in your prospective camps who are good with the herbs, good with the tinctures. Like I said, this guy, Yehuda Maccabees, he's in the hospital because he got high blood pressure. He's probably not walking. Apostle Gabar is always talking about walking. He's man. I didn't see him on lessons walking 10 miles, cycling 30 miles. But these guys always want to talk ish about the apostles and elders when they're excellent example of what health is. Apostle Gabar said, "You brothers should be on your high school weight." I was like, "Oh shit!" Back in high school, I was man. Well, I'm doing a lot better than I was in high school. I'm gonna tell you that. You know, I was almost 300 pounds in high school, and I'm somewhere around 250 right now. Okay, somewhere around 250, which you know, personally, I'm trying to get down to 225, and I know it's gonna take time to do that. It might take to the end of the year. You know, continuing on, for of the Most High cometh healing, and he shall receive honor of the King. The skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admiration. The Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. Now let me try to let me look this up. Benefits of hawthorn berry. Yes, hawthorn berry. Now the brother Yaikwat made a tincture out of it, and I don't take it every day, you know, but I will take it sometimes before I go to sleep. All right. Now here we go. All right. 9 impressive health benefits of hawthorn berry. Hawthorn berry's high antioxidant content may help lower blood pressure and cholesterol, and that's what affects our people. All right, with these foods, and like I said, man, Apostle Rakab mentioned this, man. I'm going to line down as far as the apostles, man. Apostle Rakab said, brothers should not be eating no goddamn Church's chicken, KFC. They already told you in KFC what they put in there. Okay, when I was coming out the job, I was just finishing up. I seen some Edomite woman with a KFC box, and I'm looking at her like, all right, all right now, have a good day. You know, brothers shouldn't be going to a cookout and KFC and Checkers. You sure as hell shouldn't go to no goddamn McDonald's and Taco Bell and Burger King, man. That's a F no. Okay? These foods in here, too much fried chicken, too much French fries, too much fried foods will cause your blood pressure and your cholesterol to go up. And there's alternative methods to it. Instead of eating French fries, you can eat baked yucca. All right, yucca is actually a plant. It's from the cassava plant, from the cassava root. Those are actually good. You know, you want to make sure you're getting your fiber through beans, things of that nature. You want to make sure you're getting your protein. But, you know, Jake is always trying to scoff at the apostles and elders, and they're giving real life advice, man. So let this guy be a warning, man. Continuing on, it says, hawthorn berries' high antioxidant content may help lower blood pressure and cholesterol, reduce inflammation, improve skin health, and aid digestion. Because, hey, these food, man, like I said, your gut health, man, it's important to take, and it's important to take your gut health seriously, man. And then you can go on YouTube, the same platform where we put these videos up, and you can look up these doctors, these alternative doctors, and they'll tell you certain foods. You might not like all of them, but there's certain foods that you can eat that will help with your gut health. Will it help with lower cholesterol? All right. It says, however, it might not mix well with certain heart medications. I mean, personally, like it says in Sirach 38, man. Let's read that again. Sirach 38 and verse 4. The Lord have created medicines out of the earth, not no prescription pills. Okay? And he that is wise will not abhor them. Oh man, that's nasty. Hey, well, I'll tell you this. If you want to do if you want to get them parasites and certain metals at your body and detox your system, get the wormwood. All right, get the black walnut and wormwood. If you got a physician in your camp and he does well with these tinctures like this brother Yaiqua I'm mentioning, because I got a wormwood tincture. I'm still waiting on American ginseng though. But I'm gonna let him know. It takes time though. That brother's a skilled physician in what he knows. So I'd rather pay that brother besides going to some doctor. That what the first thing they're gonna do when you go to the doctor, man. They're gonna draw blood. Is that really necessary? To draw blood out of me and I'm feeling all dizzy, and then here comes these false diagnosis, and then they give you something, and it's gonna be side effects of this, side effects of that, side effects of this. Now this guy's in the hospital and he got to depend on Esau, but he's supposed to be in the new covenant. All right, so let this guy be a lesson, man. All right. And I'm going to end it off on Ecclesiastes 30 and 14. Because like I said, I'm still a work in progress myself. All right. But I know certain things are starting to work. And guess what? I'm going to have to learn how to cut back on other things. I'm going to learn how to adjust to this, adjust to that. The elder brother in my camp, Abba Baja, he did a class on health. It was like almost a year and a half ago. He was like, every male should have. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go look in my cabinet right quick. All right, I'm going to my bathroom. You want to make sure if you got some selenium, you want to make sure that you got some copper supplements, and you want to make sure you take some calcium, some magnesium, and some zinc, especially when you get up in age, man. All right, we don't want to be like our parents in the world, our family members, man. High blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, all right. And then our people, you look at our people. I was at work today. I had to go to a certain building to conduct my business. And there's this elderly so-called black woman, and she's eating, what was she eating, man? Eating Burger King. I'm thinking like this lady's too goddamn old to be eating some goddamn Burger King, man. You can do all that at home. Five Guys, they're gonna charge you $40 for a burger and fries and a drink. You might as well find some type of lean beef or turkey and make your own so-called hamburger, beef burger, whatever you call it. So this is Ecclesiastes 30 and 14. Better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution than a rich man that is afflicted in his body. All right. Look at Lil Boosie. This guy's a so-called millionaire, right? But he got all types of health problems. This guy was on the verge of getting his foot amputated years ago. And then this is the same guy that threw a middle finger up at the Lord talking about, I'm going to eat what I want to eat. But then there was another interview. And when you looked at this guy's refrigerator, he's supposed to be a rich nigga, right? Yeah, you're a rich nigga, all right. His refrigerator is filled full of processed foods. And that's another thing, them processed foods. Hey, man, sometimes you got to learn how to go in the kitchen and make your own food. That's what Apostle Bar said. Every brother in the camp should learn how to cook. This is one thing I've stayed away from as of late. Them frozen pizzas. Oh man, that's nothing but processed food, man. That dried up bread, that dried up frozen bread. Now, sometimes, like I said, bro, sometimes you can, you get to a point where you feel like you might want to get a takeout pizza or whatever, or you can make your own pizza at home. I've heard Apostle Tahar, talking about an almond crust for pizza, and he makes his pizzas out of that. So that's something I might need to look up. But them processed foods, man, that is no good for you. That's Lil Boosie. Sirach 30 and 15. Health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. Yeah, because you see these celebrities, man. Look at the guy that's in office, man. This guy still eats KFC and Burger King, man, and McDonald's, and I firmly believe he still eats that crap. When you and and don't get twisted. Our people, they have a bad diet, but you look at these Edomites. All these Edomites eat sugar, man, and that's why these Edomites are in the hospice. They got dementia and all types of brain malfunctions because they've been eating sugar. That standard American diet, that's sad. Eating sugar, ice cream, cakes, cookies, fast food. That's the Edomite diet, man. We're in the truth. All right, we gotta make the best out of the worst situations, because the scriptures say our bread is defiled amongst the Gentiles. Verse 16, there is no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart. Death is better than a bitter life of continual sicknesses. Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm not the most perfect brother, but I am making steps to get better. At least hitting the gym at least 3-4 days a week. I need to get back into walking. Lord willing, after I get done dropping this lesson, I'll take a walk, then hit the gym, and then come back, So, hey, Lord willing, that was edifying, man. Let this guy be an example. Take care of your health. And with that, I'm going to say, Shalom.